and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Vaishali Kohli. The Indian men's cricket team is set to take on Namibia in the 18th match of the 2026 ICC T20 World Cup campaign starting February 12. Notably, this match will be held at 7 p.m. IST at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, Delhi. Before this clash, Sri Lanka will play Oman at 11 a.m. IST at Palikele International Cricket Stadium, and then Nepal and Italy will clash in a 3 p.m. IST clash at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. India are the defending champions and are aiming to win their third T20 World Cup. They won the inaugural tournament in 2007. India under Surya Kumar Yadav will be aiming to tick the right boxes. They suffered a scare against the USA at the Wankhede, being reduced to 43 by 4 and 76 by 6 before a Sky Special turned things around. For Namibia, this will be a tough contest. They would want to play their best cricket and offer a fight. With that, first let's take a look at group-wise points table on the big screen, and then we'll take a glance at some statistics for the big match which is coming up. All right, viewers, let's look at the points table now. The ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026. Group A, let's talk about that. Now, the teams are listed. Pakistan played 2, won 2, and well, the points now are 4 and the net run rate is plus 0.932. Let's talk about India now. Played 1, won 1, and of course the net run rate is plus 1.45. Now let's talk about NED, of course, now 2 plus 0.356. Namibia, of course, at 1, that is of course minus 1.033. And of course, the Namibia played 1, lost 1. Now, the US played 2 and lost 2. And of course, the net run rate is minus 1.525. So that's, of course, Group A that we're talking about. So these are, of course, all the details that we've showed you. Now, let's talk about Group B. We're talking about Zimbabwe, played 1, win 1, and the points are 2. The net run rate is plus 2.702. Sri Lanka played 1, won 1, and the net run rate is plus 1.0. Ireland, of course, played 1, and the net run rate is minus 1. And of course, we look at Australia, which played 0, and of course, the net run rate is 0. We also have Oman in the middle. And now let's come to Group C. So let's look at the teams. Let's talk about all of these teams that we've listed. We've spoken about England, Ireland, Nepal, and let's look at all the details here when we talk about the played, win, lost, and the net run rate. Let's look at all these figures on the screen. We'll hold that for you. And these are all the figures. Let's come to Group D, with New Zealand, South Africa, UAE and Canada. Let's talk about New Zealand, played 2, won 2, and the net run rate is plus 1.919. South Africa, of course, played 1, and the net run rate is plus 2.850. Then Afghanistan, of course, played 1, lost 1, and the net run rate is 1.162. UAE, of course, played 1, lost 1, and the net run rate is minus 2.763. And let's talk about Canada, which played 1, lost 1, minus 2.85. So this is Group D. Now let's talk about India versus Namibia. Of course, we're talking about the venue. Now, of course, the average score, the group stage, the match 18 Thursday, we're talking about the Arun Jaitley Stadium. Now, of course, the average score is 208 by 6. Overall run rate is 10.42. Power play is 10.72, middle overs is 9.44, and death overs is 11.91. Let's talk about Now, the next bit. Now, batting versus first versus second. Batting first overall is 10.89 and batting second overall is 9.93. Now, of course, the batting position impact. Let's talk about that. India, where we talk about the top order at 171.74, middle is 148.04, late is 143.18. Namibia, we're talking about the top is 132.37, middle is 124.17, and late is 191.38. That is a batting position impact that we're talking about. Let's talk about the phase breakdown now. Power play 85% pace, ER around 10.6. Middle 7 to 15, 69% spin, ER 9.27. And death is 16 by 20, 16 between 16 and 20, pardon me, 74% pace and ER is 11.67. Let's now talk about the batting edge. Now, strike rate by phase. India is at a 142.96 and Namibia is 131.51. The middle is 154.07. The middle of Namibia is 121.88. The death is at 173.08. Namibia death is 155.71. And overall 156.41. And Namibia's overall 130.12. All right, viewers. So these are all the details that we've just shared with you. And let's get a better understanding of it from our guests who are joining me. I have with me Sunil Yashkalra, he's a cricket scholar, and Taos Rizvi, who's a senior sports journalist. Sunil, I want to come to you first, and we've shared all the figures, all the details with our viewers. I'd like to begin with your opening comments.
Well, absolutely. If you could see the difference, you just read out my analysis of the entire tournament and the team. It is a great stark difference between the chalk and cheese and David and Goliath, because India and Namibia are little of any match. In fact, I would go on to say that any of the Ranji Trophy team can give a tough fight to Namibia's national. No disrespect to them, but the gap, I wanted to tell you about how big is the gap. And with the way India is getting into the zone for the World Cup, this is a great sign for the team, which is, as the defending champions and someone who wants to win the World Cup, but more importantly, take on Pakistan very seriously. Over to you.
All right, I want to now go across, of course, to Taos Rizvi, who's also a senior sports journalist. Taos, I want to speak to you about the fact that, how important really is this match against Namibia for their campaign momentum?
Every ICC match is important for Team India right now. I mean, we are defending champions, and the way we have played the first match, there was quite struggle against USA. Yeah, we won that game, but the initial period it was quite difficult. So against a team like Namibia, yeah, it might be a David versus Goliath contest, or maybe there would be no match between the two. But then again, every ICC game is important for Team India, because you have to show authority for the coming matches. Here you cannot take any team lightly, considering you need to set the momentum, you need to come back, in fact, harder, like how we struggled against USA. Here you have to come back harder, show exactly, because USA was an associate nation, Namibia themselves are an associate nation. So somewhere or the other, you don't need to give the other teams, the other bigger teams, a chance to even think that, okay, India has some chink in the armor, there are some loopholes in the Indian batting lineup or a bowling lineup. We showed against USA, we struggled initially against USA, but here we cannot give any chance, any psychological chance. In fact, even if there is a mini collapse in the initial period, India can still bounce back and go and win. Even if they score a 120, they have the ability to defend it. But here, when you talk about the ICC World Cup, when you're playing against the bigger boys in the coming stage of the tournament, you can't give away even the smallest opportunity. So here is a good chance to claim that authority back, because you're a defending champion. You have an authority to be one of the biggest team, one of the dominating cricketing powerhouse in the world. So that's where you need to show your dominance against Namibia. You can't take it lightly, no experiments. Just go out there. If there is an injury, replace them with the best. Just go out there, deliver, annihilate. It's a bad words to use. Just destroy Namibia with your cricketing skills.
All right. I also now want to go across to Sunil. Sunil, under Surya Kumar Yadav's captaincy, I want to ask you, what are the key areas that India needs to get right in this game?
Well, obviously, the power play is very important for any teams that walks in. First 30 deliveries define whether you're going to win the match or not, because more importantly, because you set the tone, you set the target, you said unless there is a cluster collapse of batsmen. So power play in the batting order is very good. Indians know this pitch like the back of their hand, because this particular strip, this particular stadium, they've been quite used to playing there. In fact, the biggest part here is India's scoring consistency. This is the second highest strip in the world where Indians make it really fast runs against any team. You know, the first being, of course, Eden Gardens, but this is a scorer's paradise, because the way the ball comes, everything that comes in here is a very nice way Indians have adapted to score runs of it. Of course, the short boundaries also help the cause. So these are 2 points. One is the power play that they have to look at and increase the pressure. Again, this pitch will not offer too many things for the spinners. So I think the medium pacers and Hardik Pandya will come into picture here sooner than later as compared to any other match, because it's a fast pitch. It's good when it comes to the bat, especially in the second innings. And we can expect India to walk home with aplomb. Over to you.
I'd